Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Michelle Fondin and I'm the author of Chakra Healing for Vibrant Energy, Exploring Your 7 Energy Centers with Mindfulness, Yoga, and Ayurveda. I am also the author of Twin Flame Romance, The Journey to Unconditional Love. All of my books are available in paperback, Kindle, and Audible books. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Thank you for subscribing below. Click on that bell, scroll up to all for all notifications, and thank you for giving the video a thumbs up. I do readings, 30, 60, and 90-minute readings, Twin Flame, Romance, Life Path, and Purpose. You can book that at my website, michellefondinauthor.com. Welcome to Ascension Sundays. Today we are talking about the third chakra, solar plexus, the source of personal power, and why it's really an important chakra for twin flames. So I'm going to put the links below to the 2 other chakra videos that I talked about on Ascension Sundays. And actually, I'm going to put the Manipura, the 3rd chakra, lustrous gem, meditation video for twin flames right above there. So you can have that meditation and try that meditation for you and your twin flame divine masculine or divine feminine, just depending on which one you are. And we're really going to talk about the importance of the 3rd chakra, which I just said the Sanskrit word. It's called Manipura, which means lustrous gem. Now, the 3rd chakra is around the belly button, around the navel. Now, the wheel, which chakra means wheel of energy, it actually goes this way in a circular pattern. So it goes from front to back in a circular pattern. Think of a wheel, a disc, if you will. And it encompasses all of the parts of the body that are included surrounding the solar plexus area. So just think about the different organs in the body that are embodied by the 3rd chakra, the solar plexus. Our digestive system, right, is a huge one. The mid-back, right, that might include the kidneys as well. So let's just explore what the 3rd chakra means. It is really our sense emotionally and psychically, right, and psychologically, our sense of will and desire. This is also the seat of the ego. Now, this is one of the reasons why I'm saying that it is a really important chakra for twin flames in general. Now, it's important for everybody, but we know the hard work that twin flames are doing as they are ascending into a higher spiritual level, which is the real work that all of us have to do, including divine masculines. So it's our seat of will, desire, ego, personal power, assertiveness, boundary setting. There is so much with this chakra that I would need several hours to just talk about it. But we're just going to try to condense it in a shorter video today. It is something that I do talk about in my Twin Flame Bootcamp number 2, the healing. We go through all of the chakras. And also it is in my book, Chakra Healing for Vibrant Energy, as well as the things that you can do to start healing this chakra as well as the other chakras. Now, this 3rd chakra, the solar plexus personal power, is the 3rd of 7. There are 7 main chakras that align the spine. The base chakra is Muladhara. The 2nd chakra is Svadhisthana, and the 3rd chakra is Manipura. The first 3 chakras that I just named are chakras of matter. What does that mean? And I don't mean they matter, because they do matter, but chakras of matter, meaning physical matter. I think about the elements of the earth, right? Physical matter. In Ayurveda, which is a 5,000-year-old medical system from India, we say that there are 5 elements: space, akasha, air, vayu, fire, tejas, water, jala, earth, prithvi. Okay? So, of course, solar, sun, the solar plexus chakra is fire. That is the fire, the solar fire. It is a very yang or a masculine chakra. It's our get up and go attitude. Like, let's go, let's get up and do this. Let's set goals. Let's move forward. Let's have power and fire and personal power. And that's why also it encompasses the ego, because what is the ego on earth for us as we are living? The ego helps us to individuate. It helps us to be an individual and separate ourselves from others so that we then can assert our proper will and desire and have appropriate boundaries. Now, we have all seen how the ego can go awry, because when the ego is too fiery, we tend to get into conflict with others. And when the ego is too passive, which we have seen with empaths and intuitives, and what I talk about in my book, Heal Yourself, A Return to Wholeness, when the ego is too passive, then we have weak boundaries. We cannot be assertive. We're like a doormat where people are just walking all over us. So with the third chakra, it's really necessary that we find a healthy equilibrium so that we are not too assertive or too aggressive, if you will, because assertiveness gone to the next level can become aggression, or that we're not too passive and letting people walk all over us and having way too weak boundaries and having an underdeveloped ego where we are not able to even be a person, right? We're not able to like show up for ourselves when it comes to other people and the world. For example, with a weakened ego in a weakened solar plexus chakra, you wouldn't even be able to assert yourself to apply for a job, go on a job interview and get that job, because you would be too passive, right? You need some of that yang energy, some of that more aggressive or assertive energy in order to state to the person who is interviewing you why you would be a good person for the job. So you can see that a healthy dose of ego, a healthy dose of being able to have that yang energy, that forward moving energy, whether you are masculine or feminine, is really necessary in a healthy and balanced third chakra. So why is this so important for twin flames to balance out their third chakra? Well, I just named a few items on that list. Notably, the transcendence of the exacerbated ego self, because in our entire trajectory of life, since the time we were little, we learn to express ourselves through our ego rather than through our higher spiritual self. Now, oftentimes when we were children, when we did try to assert ourselves through our higher spiritual self, we got squashed either by other children or by other adults or even by our caretakers. And then we had to learn to develop this stronger ego muscle in order to survive socially on this planet. And then in our adult lives, we have to spend the rest of our adult lives learning how to tame that ego and overcome it. And when you are on a spiritual journey, awakening, then you're battling with your own ego and the identity of the self. Because when the ego identifies you as you in your own ego, and when you're like, oh, I am who I am because of my education, I am who I am because of my family, my friends, my society, my tribe, my culture, my skin color, my religion, whatever it is, right? When you identify yourself as that, and that is what you've identified yourself with for your entire existence, as soon as a spiritual awakening comes and begins to challenge all of that, the ego wants to fight back. And so when we balance the third chakra, when we balance the solar plexus, we are able to tame it down a little bit to a sizable level so that we have this real healthy balance of asserting your will and desire and respecting the will and desire of others. setting healthy boundaries, and then going back and having respect for the boundaries of others. Being able to speak your voice through the fifth chakra, right, which we'll talk about later, but being able to assert your voice and say, this is what I want, and then being able to hold back when the timing is not appropriate. Being able to be competitive in the workplace, for example, or in sports, or just a healthy competition with friends or family about something, and then being able to be a good loser if you don't win. So we're really learning through the healthfulness of the third chakra how to do all of these things and not be ashamed to have desire, for example. Because I know with a lot of empaths and sensitive souls, there has been shame surrounding my own desires, my own needs, what I really want. And oftentimes that comes from parental upbringing. We had parents, caretakers, teachers who had much bigger egos and a way out of balance solar plexus chakra that they kind of set us on fire, if you will, if we're going to take that fire analogy. And so we were left burning, if you will. And then we're like, oh God, I can't assert myself again because then I will get burned. So as you see, once we are able to have a healthy sense of our personal power, have a healthy sense of our assertion, communicating our wants, needs, and desires, having our healthy boundaries, then we are able to transcend into the higher spiritual levels because we will feel safe to do so. So do you understand that until you are able to have all of those ducks in a row, you will not feel safe letting go of your ego as the ruler of your life in order to allow your higher spiritual self to take the lead, to take the driver's seat. And so that is why I'm telling you that the third chakra is so important. Not to say that the first and second chakras are not important for twin flames, but this third chakra is almost like that gateway. In the chakra system and in the book that I wrote, Chakra Healing for Vibrant Energy, I did mention that the heart chakra is the gateway. And it certainly is because it ties together chakras of spirit with chakras of matter at the center of the seven. But for twin flames in this enormous amount of spiritual awakening that happens in such a short amount of time, when the ego is out of control, it doesn't want to let go. And when it doesn't want to let go, you, the person who is awakening, experiences an enormous amount of fear. And so once you're able to tame the ego down, get that healthy solar plexus chakra going, you won't feel so fearful as you ascend into the higher spiritual levels because the ego won't feel so threatened. Now, in my Twin Flame Divine Feminine Bootcamp number 2, there is an entire section on the ego. There is an entire section. It's a whole module that I dedicated to taming this ego. And you do the hands-on work, you do the Q&A, you do the questions that are going to dig deep as to why your ego might be ruling the roost. And so I would say that if you have not yet done the Twin Flame Divine Feminine Bootcamp 2, you can register at the links below, but there has to be a way out, right? There has to be a way out of letting your ego rule your entire life, where you're living in fear and conflict with others. You have anger and frustration and impatience. All of those things are really signals that the ego is still very much in charge. So you can choose to live in frustration. You can choose to let your ego rule the roost because it's done so for your entire life for the most part, right? For the most part, you've done that because obviously you didn't know any other way because nobody around you really knew any other way to do it. So that's just the way we do things. So you can make that choice and say, you know what? I'm not ready to ascend into higher spiritual levels. I just want the comfort of my ego. My ego feels really comfy right now. It feels comfortable to get jealous. It feels comfortable to get possessive. It feels comfortable to be impatient because that's the stuff that I've known. So if you feel like you're not ready to balance out that third chakra, and thus the ego as well, then that's okay. Just sit with it. Sit with the reasons why you feel better in that space of comfort, even though it comes with some pain. Because jealousy comes with pain, fear comes with pain, anger comes with pain, aggression comes with pain, conflict comes with pain. Everything that the ego stands for, individuality, for example, like I am so separate from others, I'm not the same, I'm alone, that comes with pain and discomfort. Even if it does feel familiar, there is comfort in familiarity, but the ego stuff always comes with discomfort. So if you're not ready for that, if you're not ready to transcend the ego and work on this third chakra stuff, then my suggestion to you is sit with it until you're ready to change. Because you have the choice. You have the choice to have poor boundaries, for example. You have the choice to put up walls to not let anybody else in. That's having like exacerbated boundaries. But what is the choice of your higher authentic self? And that's something that you can ponder without judging yourself, because the ego likes to judge too. Try very hard not to judge yourself, but just observe, become the observer. And the more you become the observer of the why, like why might I behave this way? Why is it still okay for me to be impatient? Why is it still okay for me to get jealous? Why is it still okay for me to have poor boundaries or have too many boundaries that nobody can get in? So why is it still okay with me? And just question yourself, and without judgment, but just say, why is that still okay even though it's painful? So I really feel like if you're taking some steps toward wanting to heal the solar plexus chakra, I would say that's a really, really good place to start. And if you're ready to go much, much deeper into that part of your healing, then join the Twin Flame Divine Feminine Bootcamp too, and you can get started today and really work on that. So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for subscribing to my channel below. Click on that bell, scroll up to all for all notifications. And thank you for giving the video a thumbs up. Thank you for sharing this video with other Twin Flames. And thank you so much for your support of my channel. You can buy a book or 2 or 3. You can pledge your support on Patreon, www.patreon.com/Michelle S. Fondin. And I will see you in the next video.